Hello everybody, Jordan here, the PH is silent. We're picking up where we left off with Selûne and talking about Shar, the goddess of darkness and loss. Then a brighter note, we'll chat about Silvanus, the god of wild nature. Let's dive in. Shar is the dark twin of Selûne. She is the goddess of darkness, both the absence of light and the darkness within people's souls. Her portfolio includes darkness, night, secrets, loss, and forgetfulness. Although she is an evil deity, she is not always worshipped by those that are evil. Oftentimes her name is invoked for protection in dark places, both real and emotional. Miners will pray to Shar for protection, and those who have fallen in despair will give their painful memories to Shar, in hopes that she will take them away. Sometimes people who have lost something will pray to Shar so they might remember and be able to recover the item. Shar is also known as the Mistress of Night, the Lady of Loss, and the Night Singer. Shar is an ancient deity, being the sister of Selûne. Together they created the goddess Shantia as well as Abir Teril. Selûne illuminated the world while Shar brought it darkness. Shantia insisted that Selûne's starry light was not enough for her to nurture life on Abir Teril. Shar and Selûne fought over this because Shar wanted to keep the world as it was and did not want any more light. Selûne, going against her sister, reached into the plane of fire and ignited a planet, thus creating the sun. Shar attempted to snuff it out, but was thwarted when Selûne hurled some of her divine essence at Shar, which tore through her body. That essence coalesced into Mistral, the first goddess of magic. Selûne had allies in Mistral and Shantia, and Shar had none. So she left and brooded in the dark, secretly wanting to control the weave that was under Mistral's portfolio. She continuously battles Selûne to this day with no end in sight. Also, she spent some time studying the weave and created her own version of it known as the Shadow Weave. Those that follow Shar, especially wizards, can often tap into this alternate weave to great effect. Dark power comes from the Shadow Weave, making certain spells like necromancy easier, but others more difficult to cast. Shar, during the time of troubles, murdered a lesser deity called Ibrandul, who was the deity of caverns, dungeons, and the Underdark. She then inherited those portfolios and grants magic to his followers in his name to this day, keeping the fact that he's dead a secret from his followers. The Church of Shar is largely composed of underground cells rather than working from temples. These cells are small congregations of worshippers led by a single priest. Sometimes cells will work with one another. However, it's fairly common for cells to not realize another is even in the same city. She is the goddess of secrets, after all. Specialty priests of Shar are called Night Cloaks. Her hatred of Selûne extends to her worshippers, and the Church of Shar is often at odds with the Church of Selûne. The dogma of Shar revolves around secrets. The faithful of Shar, known as Dark Followers, are instructed to reveal secrets only to fellow faithful. Shar desires to bring all humans under her sway. She promotes lawlessness and strife, hoping most folks will suffer loss and turn to her for peace. Shar and clergy have been known to work covertly to bring down governments. Her clergy work through manipulation and behind closed doors intrigue, promoting the way of Shar. The oldest and largest temple of Shar is in Kalamport. Called the Temple of Old Night, it is a subterranean complex underneath much of the eastern city. There are no fighting or knightly orders with Shar's religion, but many thieves' guilds have connections to Shar and or her clergy. She does have an elite order of sorcerer monks who tap into the Shadow Weave and do her bidding. I should also point out it was in 4th edition lore that Shar created the Shadowfell. She successfully arranged Mistra's death and then bound the energies of the negative energy plane with the plane of shadow to create the Shadowfell. As of 5th edition, the plane of shadow is no more, I believe, replaced by the Shadowfell, but the negative energy plane is back. Up next is Silvanus, the forest father who is the god of nature, specifically wild nature. Also known as the Oak Father, the Old Oak, and Old Father Tree, he doesn't just represent forests. Rather, mountains, deserts, and plains are all part of his domain, as well as the creatures that exist there. He is an ancient deity, being the counterpart to Shantia, who represents ordered nature. His goal and purpose is to protect certain areas from encroaching civilization. Wild nature is the true state of the world, and it should be preserved. Followers of Silvanus are varied, but have nature in common. Travelers, adventurers, explorers, sages, communities far from the protection of local lords, hermits, herbalists, druids, and rangers often worship Silvanus. The Church of Silvanus is referred to as the Greenleaf Priesthood. He has many clerics and druids that follow him. They are spread out across Faerun, favoring small communities over large cities, but it wouldn't be a major religion if there wasn't at least some type of temple in cities like Waterdeep. These more urban clerics will often tend gardens, allowing the wild growth to take over, creating little pockets of wilderness right there in the city. Silvanus seeks balance in all things, floods and droughts, fire and ice, life and death. He'll side with the natural state of things, wild nature almost always. It is Silvanus' hope that his followers will keep the balance, resorting to violence only when necessary. Those wishing to join the clergy are charged to preserve the forest, banish disease where they find it, and defend trees or plant new ones whenever possible. Kills are made, but only when needful. An example of out-of-balance activities would be over-deforestation or heavy hunting or farming, disturbing the natural path of the wilderness. It is in this way that not every forest fire is stopped, only unnatural fires caused by orcs or fire-wielding mages. His clerics pray for spells at any time, but most often in the evenings or in moonlight. The major center of worship is the Old Oak Dell in the heart of the forest Tethyr. There are no knightly orders associated with Silvanus, but the church has an order of rangers that worship Meliki. And that's it for today. Shar would be an excellent deity for an assassin or maybe a renegade drow cleric worshipping Shar instead of Lolth. Or how about a barbarian paladin who worships Silvanus protecting the wild nature way of things. Big shout out to my patrons on Patreon for supporting the channel and videos like these. If you'd like to be a patron, click on the link in the description or at the end of this video. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you all next week.